Namaste, welcome back to Stithapadna channel, and you are watching AWS Cloud Quest Solutions Architect video game. Okay, I think so far we have done how many projects? 4 projects. The first one was on AWS CloudWatch, second one was on AWS Backup, and the third one was on Lambda, and fourth one was API Gateway with Lambda. Okay, so we did so far 4 projects and we have 10 more projects to go in this. Okay, that is our enemy, we should not go near them. We can. It will just ask us a question, but that's okay. So far we have done 4 projects, as I said, and today we are going to do another project, and the project name is API with database. So if you remember, in previous video we have, what did we do? We we have connected the front-end interface and back-end database. We didn't connect back-end database actually. What did we do? We created just an API and we made calls, and it behind the scenes invoked Lambda and then gave us our result. So today's project is named API with database, which is the IT stuff. In previous project we have helped the IT staff of the city's amusement park, and we are going to do the same. In this, the IT staff is concerned that their current relational SQL database used for their vehicle rental application can't handle the city amusement park's grand opening event and beyond. So they are concerned about it, and we are going to help them with their concerns. So that won't be any concern anymore after we help them. So unlike the previous projects where I have already done, so I couldn't show you the complete NPC experience or a video game experience where we go to a particular person and take the quest, etc. So from now onwards we will have that complete experience, because these are going to be brand new projects, even I didn't do. So how do we do that? We can either go here and pick from here, because this is what we are going to do, API with database. Route and go will take you to that particular NPC, but I already am here and this is the NPC. If you don't trust me, let's click route and go and they will automatically go there. Now let's go ahead and click on them, and here this is how it is going to be. Oh, okay, so we already picked the we already picked the project. Maybe I started it and I didn't finish it. So when I clicked on it, she is like, I'm still waiting on your prototype, please hurry. So we already picked the project. So this is how it looks like. Usually you will have a conversation, they will explain their problem, and then we will give our solution, then we will accept the quest, then we will go and do the lab. So here it will show assignment rewards. We are going to get 55 gems and 10 experience in each of these: Lambda, API Gateway, Dynamo, which means we are going to use these tools in our lab. And then what are we going to learn from doing this project? We are going to learn how to create a DynamoDB table to store vehicle data, and how to create a Lambda function to save records in DynamoDB, and then create REST API by using API Gateway. In last 2 videos we learned how to create Lambda functions, but we didn't write to a DynamoDB or anything else. We just returned some hard-coded values, and we learned how to create a REST API in the previous one. And creating a DynamoDB table, we learned it as part of Cloud Practitioner. So I think this will be a revision. So we are going to learn a lot of awesome stuff here. So let's click start. Then this will take to the window where we are looking at every day. This one, got it? Now we have 8 diagram steps, and as usual, each of these topics has their respective video in the video concepts. So this is going to cover a lot of concepts here. Take a screenshot of these video names, and if you want to watch them, where they are available. I'm not going to play them here because it will take forever if I play here. So instead what I did is I uploaded these to our channel on AWS tutorials for beginners playlist. So if you would like to learn all of this, go ahead, watch all these videos over there, and then come back and watch the lab. Because sometimes what happens is, even though the lab explains you briefly about this, it won't go in depth. If you want to learn in-depth knowledge on whatever the technology that we are going to use in this particular lab, you need to understand them in depth. That you can only get by watching those videos. So go ahead, watch those videos, then come back here and watch the practical lab. Diagram step 1. This solution uses Amazon API Gateway, AWS Lambda and Amazon DynamoDB to build backend applications without the need to maintain servers. Because as you know, Amazon API Gateway is serverless, Lambda is serverless, DynamoDB is serverless. So you don't have to maintain any servers. As you can see, all three here. The application makes an HTTP request that sends the payload to be processed by the backend. So this is the payload they are sending. Example, vehicle ID 1, type bike, available true. I think this payload will be stored on this one. If you remember, in the previous one, we only did the methods of get, where you will get the payload, not put the payload. So in this case, I think we are going to post it. So that's why you see method post, not get, downloads, post, puts. Amazon API Gateway acts as the front door for applications to access data, business logic or functionality from the backend services. API Gateway invokes an AWS Lambda function which processes the data and uses Amazon DynamoDB as a data store. DynamoDB is a key value and document database that delivers single-digit millisecond performance at any scale. DynamoDB can support tables of virtually any size, and it can scale to more than 10 trillion requests per day with peaks greater than 20 million requests per day. DynamoDB is serverless with no servers to provision, patch or manage and no software to install, maintain or operate. All you have to do is create tables on top of it. DynamoDB availability and fault tolerance are built in, removing the need to architect applications for these capabilities. So those are our diagram steps. Let's go to the plan. Now let's look at the practice lab goals. We will create Amazon DynamoDB table, then we will define the table schema. Then we'll create a Lambda function to create, update and query table items. Then we will expose API Gateway RESTful API to the Lambda function. Okay. If you don't know what the practice lab is, basically whatever they are showing here, they will tell us how to do that. The DIY part, do it yourself, right? So they won't tell us how to do it. Instead, they'll tell us this is what we are expecting you to do it, and at the end we will validate them using so and so methods. So as DIY, we will create a new DynamoDB table called vehicles with the primary partition key ID. Then modify the Lambda function to reference the vehicles table. Then we'll create a new API Gateway resource for vehicles. Then we'll create a post method with Lambda proxy integration. Then we'll deploy API. So let's click on the practice. Okay, so this is just the normal concepts and steps they are talking about. They're saying in this practice lab, what will you do, which we already checked in the previous one. There are only 24 steps, not bad. Obviously, we are going to have some sample code. Let me download. Steps. Let me start the lab. Okay, let's start the lab. And as you know, the lab is going to last for 2 hours, 25 minutes roughly. Okay, so first of all, we will go to the DynamoDB. And Amazon DynamoDB helps you offload the administrative burdens of operating and scaling a distributed database so that you don't have to worry about hardware provisioning, setup and configuration, replication, software patching or cluster scaling. Something, you get all this with serverless technologies anyways. And then once you go there, we'll create a table. Tables, items and attributes are the core components that you work with in DynamoDB. A table is a collection of items and each item is a collection of attributes. So if you are coming from relational database like me, wherein we are used with terminology like tables, rows, columns, right? So here an item is a row. Okay, so table is table. In tables you will have item. Item is nothing but a row. Attributes are nothing but columns. So don't get confused when they say collection of items. It's a collection of rows, and each item is a collection of attributes, which means each row is a collection of columns. Okay, remember, item is a row, attribute is a column, because this is a NoSQL database, right? Maybe they thought of not using the same terminology. I don't know what is the reason, but that's what it is. So the table name is going to be locations, and we are going to partition by ID. DynamoDB uses primary keys to uniquely identify each item in a table and secondary indexes to provide more querying flexibility. A simple primary key composed of one attribute is known as a partition key, which is what we are going to create. Okay, so let me go here first of all. Let's You open DynamoDB and let's create the table, and the table name is locations and the column name is ID string. That's it. That's all you need. Then create table. I mean, there are other options as well, but right now we are not interested in that. DynamoDB uses the partition keys value as input to an internal hash function in a table that has only a partition key. No two items can have the same partition key value. Remember that. As you know, we already know primary key means you cannot have duplicate primary keys in the same table. Then we will go to Lambda. AWS Lambda is a compute service that helps you run code without provisioning or managing servers. Lambda runs your code only when needed, and it can scale automatically from a few requests per day to thousands per second. You pay for only the compute time you use with no charge when your code is not running. It's serverless is always like that. Then we go create function. A function is this resource that you can invoke to run your code in Lambda. A function has code that processes events and a runtime that processes requests and responses between Lambda and the function code. We have already learned all these things. And let's create the Lambda and name it lab function, and the runtime we are going to pick is Python 3.9, and then we will pick the default, not default role, the role that they created for this lab. Lambda runtimes allow functions in different languages to run in the same base execution environment. We have already read this in last two projects. You configure your function to use a runtime that matches your programming language. The runtime sits in between the Lambda service and your function code, relaying invocation events, context information, and responses between the two. You can use runtimes provided by Lambda or build your own. Let's go next. This is the usual. A Lambda function's execution role defines what permissions are assigned to the function to access AWS services and resources. At a minimum, your function needs access to Amazon CloudWatch logs for log streaming. Okay, we downloaded the file, and that file has this Python code. I think we have to copy it, we have to delete and then paste it. Using the code editor on the Lambda console, you can write, test and view the execution results of your Lambda function code. Indentation in Python refers to the spaces and tabs that are used at the beginning of a statement. The statements with the same indentation belong to the same group. It's about Python. It has nothing to do with Lambda. Lambda stores your code in S3 and encrypts it at rest. Once we have done, they are asking us to copy this part of the code. You can configure events. Events are nothing but input data that we are going to pass to Lambda. Each user can create up to 10 test events per function. Test events you create are not available to other users. So let's copy this. I think we'll pass it as an event. So let's go ahead, copy it, and then we will paste it in the event, which is the input data that we are passing to the Lambda function, just to test if the Lambda code is working or not. You can use several pre-created event templates to generate your own test event. Here we are going to use hello world. Modify the JSON code to configure test. Once that is done, we will click on test. Lambda code can create a new record in Amazon DynamoDB, update the record and then query the record. So I think this code, if you go through and read through it, which we will do in a minute, this is what it does. It will create a new record in DynamoDB table, and then it will update the record and then query the record. We can use the Lambda to do all that. Okay, then once you execute, it will show you that response, and then we will go to DynamoDB and then we will check if that record actually got inserted or not. Then we'll click on that. Then we will explore table items, and I think it should show you that record that we just added. DynamoDB is a schemaless database. Every table must have a primary key to uniquely identify each data item, which is each row. But there are no similar constraints on other non-key attributes. DynamoDB can manage structured or semi-structured data, including JSON documents. So as you can see, that record we inserted from the Lambda function is visible here. We will do that, don't worry about it. In DynamoDB, the scan operation returns one or more items and item attributes by accessing every item in a table or a secondary index. Then they are asking us to go to API gateway. Before doing that, I know that we came a long way. So let's go ahead and do all that. So if I do this, you should not see anything. Okay, there is nothing to display. So now go ahead, let's go services lambda. Let's create the function. Let's name it lab function, and they picked 3.9, and execution role, use, click here, function role, create function. Let me open the file that I downloaded which had the Python code. Let me copy it and let me come here, Control Alt, delete, Control paste. Okay, so let's look at this. I will copy this in the meantime. Where is it? Come on, they commented it somewhere. Where did they comment that input? Oh, is this the... I think this is the wrong file. Okay, just give me a minute. Is this the wrong file? Yeah, it is the wrong file. Or maybe, yeah, it is. This file is from yesterday's project. Okay, here we go. They should somewhere have the... yeah, here we go. This is the input they commented. So let's copy this. Okay, let's at a high level, let's go through it. They are logging, and then they created a function which is create item. They have multiple functions. Create item will insert a record, update item will update a record, get item will select a record. Okay, basically those are the three functions. And how they are doing it, you can see they are just using table dot put item. What is table here? If you see table, they are accessing the DynamoDB table, and the table name will be locations. So they are expecting we named the table on DynamoDB exactly like this told us. If not, we can modify it here. So they created a variable referencing to the table, or getting everything the table from the DynamoDB, which is locations. Then using put item, we are inserting record where we are saying item equal to item. Item is nothing but the input that we are passing to the create item. So where is this item we are getting from? Usually you will see all that from here. So API gateway handler, item is nothing but whatever input we are passing. The input is, did I cut it? Where is it? Yeah, I cut it. Yeah, here. So the input in the vehicles is a dictionary, right? So in the vehicles, we are accessing actually the complete vehicles, whatever is there. So item is going to be this entire three attributes or columns, whatever you want to call them. That is item. Then item ID is inside that three columns. We have one column called ID. So that is the item ID. And then using the create item function, we are inserted the record. Update item, obviously it is going to use this. If you know relational database, how does it work? You will update based on a key, right? Here, same thing, key. We have to mention, we are telling that key will be, the key name is ID, and the value is whatever you are getting from the item ID. And then we are going to use this expression, I am assuming, in order to perform this key update, then update expression, set reserve equal to colon AD, and expression attribute values colon AD equal to reserve. We will know what that is in a minute. And then we are logging all this information, and get item is downloading it. And obviously when you are downloading a record, you need to mention what is the key you want to download. Do we want to download everything, or but here looks like we are downloading based on the ID. Okay, so all those things I don't want to go and explain further into Python because this is not a Python lab video. Go through completely. So let me scroll down so that you can take a look at this. Pass, copy, I guess, another, and again. Okay, I think that should do it. So let me click on deploy, because last time I forgot to deploy and test it and it didn't work out. Let's configure it. Let me delete. Let me paste the input. So once the input is there, I need to name it something. Okay, we have the sample input. We passed it. So this is the record that I want to insert. When you are updating, obviously this is going to differ. You don't have to give these values. Maybe you will. You will give the ID, whichever ID you want to update, and the attributes you are updating. So we'll take a look at that later. I think this should be good enough. Click save. Now click test. Okay, everything works out, and the response, as you can see, we are just printing whatever we are passing. Okay, now if I scoot over to DynamoDB, I think, where is it? Okay, let me click here. It's not letting me go there. Okay, DynamoDB, previously we had nothing. Now if I run it again, I should see that one record that inserted. Okay, so the ID is 1. There are 3 more attributes: type, scooter, reserve, yes, available, true. Success. Once we do that, I think pretty much that's it here. We successfully inserted the record. Now they are asking us to go to API Gateway. So let me go there. And API Gateway, we are already familiar because we have done an amazing job in the last project. So here we are going to build, if I am not wrong, I think REST API, not the private one. In the last project we learned about get method. I think in this one we are going to learn about post method. API Gateway is a fully managed service that helps developers create, publish, maintain, monitor, and secure APIs at any scale. As usual, we are going to go there, build. API Gateway handles all the tasks involved in accepting and processing up to hundreds of thousands of concurrent API calls. We got that message. And REST APIs offer API proxy functionality and API management features in a single solution. REST APIs offer API management features such as usage plans, API keys, publishing, monetizing APIs, etc. All the fun stuff in just one particular service. So we are going to create a new REST, new API, and then API name will be diy-API in capital letters. Then let's click next. That's it. They're not going to okay, I think they are going to leave the DIY, adding the post method as the DIY, because even they are like, bro, you already learned how to create methods in the last project, so use that and create it. Alright, we'll do that. Thank you. I think they heard if you watched the previous video, I complained saying whatever they asked me to do as the DIY, it was like very easy. So I asked them to throw a challenge. Maybe I think that's what they are trying to do here. Let's create the API. Okay, let's go to DIY and let's see, they are asking us to create a new DynamoDB table called vehicles with the primary partition key ID, which I will do that in a minute. Not here. Where is DynamoDB? Here we go. DynamoDB create table, and they want me to create vehicles, and partition key is going to be ID. Create table. It's as easy as that, guys. Modify your Lambda function to reference the vehicles table. Okay, even this I am aware. Why? Because when I was explaining you the Lambda functions, I know where they enter the table name. Here, vehicles, deployed. And then create a new API gateway resource for vehicles, which I will do. In the previous project we have created resources. If you remember, what was the resource? Pets. Here we are going to create it for vehicles. Then we will create a post method with lambda proxy. So it's going to be the usual. So let's go to here, actions, create resource, my resource, they wanted vehicles. Okay, create other resource, and under this we are going to create a method. Here we are going to select post, add it, and lambda, it's going to be proxy, lambda name, lab function. Oh, they already gave me that here, so that I don't make any mistake. Save it. Yes, it is going to just create permissions for this to access it. Okay, what else they are asking us? Deploy the API. Your API endpoint will receive a post call with the following object name. Okay, then let's go ahead and deploy. Before deploying, let's do a small test. Okay, I can test it, but I need to post something here into the vehicles. Query string, headers, request body. So how do I test? If I just run test, let's see what is going to happen. It's saying internal server error. Why? Because I didn't send any body. Let's do that. Let's test again. Yeah, that is the reason. Now it says it inserted. I don't know if we have to do that. Maybe What if they are going to test the same thing? If I refresh here, if I go to vehicles, it will show me that record I just inserted. Oh, it is showing me that. Okay, how about let's go and delete it. Actions, delete items. Okay, we have nothing. So our API is working successfully. So let me go here, deploy API. You remember all this, right? Create a new stage, stage name, DIY API, lab stage, lab deployment. All right, let's click deploy. Okay, it is deployed. Now we got the link, and remember, if I click the link, what will happen? It will throw authorization error because I have to give the resource name after it. What is the resource name? Let me do that. Okay, the resource name is vehicles. Vehicles, that's what it is, right? Yeah, vehicles. It is still showing that. Let me go back here. Let's see. Okay, it is vehicles, but since it's a post call, I think that's why it is creating problems. So let me do one thing. Let me go here. Let's see what they are saying. Our test service will invoke your API gateway URL and then check that the vehicles table was updated. Okay, so let me try to give it here and see if they are going to success, if it is going to do it or not. Okay, let me copy this, paste it here, /vehicles, and then the DB tab vehicles as well. Let me validate. Success. I think since it's a post method, I don't think we can just use the resource name and then expect it to successfully return as a result, because it's a post, right? We have to add the body, so you cannot just do that directly. You did it, the API was invoked and it works. Now return to the city and give your customer the good news. That is all good, but I want to go here to my DynamoDB and I want to check again if it successfully inserted the record or not. And it did. Success. Oh wow, they randomly generated some value as part of the test. Okay, that is good news. I like it. All right. So what did we learn from here that we didn't learn in the previous one? Maybe inserting records through the Lambda function. Maybe that is something new we learned. And we also learned how to create a post method. Again, this is not challenging as well, just like the last project. This is maybe they are just warming up, because we still have I think about 9 to go in this one, and we have data analytics and etc. So maybe this is what we get for this particular knowledge level, I guess. Okay, let's go and give the good news to them. All right. Wow, thank you so much. The performance metrics from your test DynamoDB table look great. Seriously, I just inserted one record. Awesome. I think your app will perform just fine during the big event. We are very excited about your solution. Choose your reward. What do you guys think? I think this looks fun. I think, oh yeah, this is amusement park. Makes sense. Nice. Hey, we have, is this called a pendulum? Maybe. Yay, fireworks, nice. We leveled up to 46 and even the builder level up gone up, and it's time for feedback. So I liked it, and it is time for your feedback for me as well for this video. So pause the video, go ahead. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss the awesome content that I post on this channel. You can check out that variety of content I already posted. Go ahead, take a look at it. And I'm also planning to do MuleSoft, Snowflake certification questions and etc. So if you don't want to miss all that amazing content, do subscribe. Even if you don't have some topic that you like, leave a comment and recommend it. Maybe I will, because there are some viewers who suggested me some things. For example, like the sysops admin for AWS certification. I'm like, okay, sure, I will do it. So if you have some recommendations, go ahead, leave it in the comments. I will take a look at it, and if possible, maybe, not immediately, but at least I will try to do it in the coming weeks. Okay, so And if you want more videos in this series posted frequently, like every day or every 2 days, all you have to do is go hit the like button and comment on the video. That is going to inform me that you are interested, and that will tell me to release videos every day, which I will do. Trust me, I will do. All you have to do is like and comment, and if you already subscribed, thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. That being said, let's continue with our next one phase. We're not going to do next project here, but what is our next activity once we do the project successfully? To zap some drones. Why do we zap drones? Because we will get cards. Why do we need cards? Because we can do the architecture events or activities. Okay. What can be directly invoked by an Amazon CloudWatch alarm? I think we did this yesterday. I think we can invoke scaling actions. We can stop an EC2. We can notify SNS. We cannot do Lambda functions. We got a Amazon Cognito. Nice. I don't see any here. That's weird. Okay, we have here plenty. Which service must an AWS Lambda function access to work correctly when configuring the Lambda execution role? I think it's CloudWatch logs. We just read about it. At least the minimum this execution role should have access to is the CloudWatch. Luckily, we just read it. It will fall right in front of me. AWS Management Console is recommended for uploading files larger than. No, it is the other way around actually. We got ELB. What can an AWS backup plan define? I think retention period and frequency. What do you guys think? I think so. Let me click on hint. Okay, frequency and retention period. Yes. Today I am answering these questions, all of them correctly. Let's see. I'm on a roll. Windows and Linux Amazon EC2 instances have free tier eligible instance types. What do you guys think? Linux, yes, but Windows, I don't know. Let's check. They have Windows as well. Yes, true. Yes. So yeah, it's not cheating, guys. I picked the option and then just verified it. That's it. I didn't look at the answer. I didn't change my answer. Which statements about the query operation in Amazon DynamoDB are correct? As you all know, I am very bad at DynamoDB. A filter expression can contain partition key or sort key attributes. A filter expression cannot contain partition key or sort key attributes. In a query operation, users must provide the name and the value of the partition key. The sort key is optional. In a query operations, users must provide the name and value key of partition key as well as sort key. I think this one and I think this one. Let me see. A filter expression is applied after before. Okay, a filter expression cannot contain partition. Bummer. It cannot contain. And what about this query operation? Where is it? Where is it? Okay. Okay. The name of the partition key and a single query. It is all that is optionally you can. Okay, it is an optional. Okay, that is correct. It cannot. Oh my god! I said it cannot. Cannot. Which statements about the scan operations in Amazon DynamoDB are correct? A filter expression is applied after a scan finishes. Yes, this I know. A scan consumes more. No, it doesn't. It consumes the same amount of read capacity. when a filter expression is present. Yes. Okay, let's do a couple more and then let's do the orange one, hoping we have the enough cards. Because last time in the last video we tried to do one of those orange drones and we didn't have even one card. That's maybe I need to take an hour and just farm these cards. What is an S3 bucket? Seriously, it's a container. Okay, one more. And this is a fun way to review your knowledge on these items. Trust me. NAT gateways allow instances in a private. Yes, that is the purpose of NAT gateways. Alright, now let's go get the orange. Are you orange? Oh, there is an orange right here. Where are you going? Don't leave me. Let's hope we have the cards. What is it about? Server up running. It's about ELB. I think we have ELB and EC2, so I think it should be fine. Yes, it is. Let's read what the requirement is. A bug is affecting one of your most popular customer applications, causing servers to randomly turn off after several hours of uptime. While the developers work on a patch, you want to be sure that servers are replaced as soon as they drop. Help plan an auto healing strategy until the app can be fixed. Okay, so let me tell you why watching these videos will really help you and how you can use them. First of all, you can use the projects that we are doing here in your interviews, right? Whenever they ask what all different things that you worked on, you can just talk about the projects here and you can tell them, oh, I did so and so thing, right? If you didn't watch this, then you would have no idea what the real-time situations would look like. But here we have these all are real-time situations. It's not like scripted. It is all real-time situations. And what more, this architecture question is actually telling you a problem and how you fix it. So you can, whenever in the interview, usually they ask you, well, what are some problems that you faced and how did you fix them? Here you go. Here you have an example of such problem. So this will really help you with these problems. And even if, let's say, you are already working and if you encounter this problem, now you know how to solve it. Okay. And anyway, all the time, I mean, before EC2 instances, it will be a scaling. Oh, not here. I need to go here and grab it. It's going to be auto scaling, and then obviously users are directly going to be exposed to a ELB, which you can drag and drop. Okay, so that it will go through the ELB. Then there will be a health check, and depending on the health check, this will happen. So let's click on validate. All right, that is our right solution. Okay, so that is one very good use case. Where you can use these scenarios, these projects, or these kind of architecture questions in your interviews. Okay, so that is one of the reason for you to watch this. All right, okay, I think I will end this video right here. Maybe I will farm for cards offline so that I don't have to do it here. But if you like me to do that, just let me know. And that's it, guys, for this video. That's it, guys and girls. I'm not discriminating, it's just a habit. Alright, that being said, thank you very much if you already subscribed to this channel, and see you in the next one. Have a great day. Peace out.